Hey guys, what's going on? It's Blayde again from Car Audio Security, and today we're looking at a new product from JBL, the BassPro SL2. So the BassPro SL2 is an active underseat subwoofer. So active meaning it has a built-in amplifier, and underseat subwoofer means it sits under your seat. So this is a very, very thin enclosure for a subwoofer to give you bass in the vehicle if you have no other space or you don't want to take up any space in the vehicle. So what we'll do as usual is we'll open it up, we'll show you the contents, and we'll go through the specs in depth. So let's get it open. So we have the contents of the box in front of me here. Let's go through them quickly. So first of all, we have the instruction manual. So this is going to tell you kind of the basic features of the unit and mostly how to install it. Next, you have a couple of JBL stickers. Use them to your discretion. The next thing you get is this plug. So this is a 4-pin plug with 4 bare end wires coming out of it. Now, what this is for is so that you can use high-level input. So high-level input is basically, you would need to use this if you're not changing the stereo. This allows a direct speaker signal to come in, and this will then convert it to a standard audio signal to come out of the subwoofer. So next we have a few bags of screws to mount the amplifier down, and you also get a bass controller with this. So this will be mounted up to the front of the vehicle, and then you can control the actual output of the woofer itself. So that way, if you've got too much or not quite enough, you can adjust it through this controller up the front. You don't have to mess around with the settings on the head unit. This comes with a 5 or 6 meter extension. It's almost like an Ethernet cable, so that will plug into the amp itself and then go up to the front. And then we have the sub itself. Okay, so the sub itself, as you can see, is very, very flat. So probably one of the thinnest 8-inch active underseat subs on the market at the moment. So it means it's readily available to go under many different seat applications. So you can obviously put this in the boot or in other locations other than under the seats, but it is designed to reflect bass off of the kind of another surface like under a seat. So just bear that in mind. Now, to go through the features on here. So this is the amplifier. So this is where all your inputs and outputs will be going, and you have all control of this as well. So unlike a lot of underseat subwoofers, the amplifier requires an actual gauge of cable. Rather than having a wiring kit with it, you will need to buy a wiring kit with this, so bear that in mind. I believe this will take a minimum of 10 gauge and up to an 8 gauge cable. So you will need a wiring kit, so that will consist of your power, your earth, your remote, and a set of RCAs, obviously if you've changed the stereo. So your power will go into here, along with your remote and your ground. This here is your fuse, so it's got a built-in fuse, but you're good to have a fuse up by the battery as well. This is your remote input, so for the bass controller, which we mentioned earlier, that will plug in there. This here is your high-level input. So again, that 4-wire connector that I showed you, that's for your high level. So if you're using a factory stereo, you can use high level. If you're using low level, so RCAs, they will plug in here. And then you have all of your controls. So to quickly go through those, you have audio sense. So that's basically, if you're using high level input, you're not using a remote, this will sense audio signal coming into it. So you can either choose that on or off, and that will turn the sub on or off, depending on whether there's audio coming in. You have an input load. So if you have a certain vehicle where the audio signal coming in is of a high or low impedance, you can change that. So that will depend on whether that audio signal will react or not. You have a phase switch here. So that will change the phase, obviously, between pushing out first or pushing in first. That's very dependent on which way you mount the subwoofer, but most of the time you're going to be having that at 0 degrees. You have a crossover filter for this, so that's going to be a low pass filter for the subwoofer, and that is adjustable between 50 and 120 Hertz. You have a bass boost controller between minimum and maximum, and you have your level between minimum and maximum. So features on the actual woofer itself. So this is an 8-inch driver. It's about 125 watts RMS, so good power from a very, very slim design like this. You do also have a protect light on here, so you have a power and protect light. So obviously if you're getting power to it, you know because that light is on. If there is an issue with the system, it's clipping, or there's a problem with it and it's put the amp into protect, because this is a Class D amplifier, it's very intelligent, that protect light will come on and kind of save itself. So going back to the crossover settings, as I said, this is filterable between 50 and 120 Hertz. This sub is actually capable of playing all the way down to 35 Hertz, which is really, really impressive from a very, very slim sub like this. So you will get a decent amount of bass out of this. Obviously, it's not going to be anything like in a big ported box, but it's going to be very, very good for the kind of person that doesn't want to take up any room or hasn't got any room available for a big sub box. So this is definitely a very, very good option. Looking at the dimensions, as I said, this is very, very slim, one of the slimmest ones I've seen. This is about 71 millimeters in height, so it's going to fit under almost any seat location for any vehicle. So it's very, very good. In terms of width and depth, again, it's not very, very big, so it's going to be able to fit in certain areas. We'll pop the dimensions up on the screen now so you can keep them for reference. Okay, so to summarize on the BassPro SL2, so this is a fantastic 8-inch active underseat subwoofer option for anyone that's looking for a little bit of bass increase in their vehicle but does not want to take up loads of space. So this is going to be good for almost any vehicle application. As I said, dimensions we've put up on the screen, but it is very, very slim, so it's going to sit under a lot of low slung seats. And it's just decent power. I mean, 125 watts RMS doesn't sound like a lot, but out of a 8-inch driver in that area of the vehicle right under your seat, it's going to be enough, to be honest. So yeah, my personal view on the BassPro SL2, I think it's fantastic. They've done very well in making it very slim. I like the fact that it has a built-in Class D amplifier rather than the standard amps that you get in the underseat subs of the past. So yeah, very, very good. I like the controls. You have actual control of it and you have a proper bass controller to go up to the front as well. So this is available on our website at corridgesecurity.com. We'll pop a link in the description below so you can check this out. But yeah, if you've liked this video, make sure you like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.